Hello again. You know, I posted a video, Ted Cruz is not a natural born citizen. And one of the viewers provided a relatively clear reason as to why that's true. And the viewer wrote, if Ted Cruz has one of these, he needs to show it. Otherwise, he is illegally seeking the office of president. My dad was in the army in Japan when my brother, a year older than me, and I were born. When my dad fulfilled his duties in Japan, we headed to the States. I was too, and arrangements for passports were made at the American consulate where I got my birth certificate. Child born of American parent or parents. Note on page 2 that there is a different provision for children born of an alien parent, like Cruz, and one born to an alien parent, but the other parent is an official U.S. government business, like me. At any rate, because Cruz has not shown that his birth was recorded with the State Department, we have every reason to believe he crossed the Canada-U.S. border illegally. Cruz is ineligible not only because he wasn't born in the United States, but his father was not a U.S. citizen, and his mother probably held dual citizenship. Cruz, through his parents, has ties to Canada and Cuba, and of course his wife's ties to Mexico and Canada through her lobbying efforts to facilitate the North American Union and NAFTA. Exactly what the founders wanted to prevent by declaring that only, quote, a natural-born citizen, end of quote, one without ties to any foreign entity, could serve as the commander-in-chief of the American Army, one born on American soil to American parents. Well, see, that same scenario applies to, it's identical. Obama was never eligible, but it didn't matter because the organization behind him that invested hundreds of millions of dollars in him had to find a way to put him in office. This madness has to stop. Ted Cruz doesn't qualify. Marco Rubio doesn't qualify. Bobby Jindal doesn't qualify. And nor does Rick Santorum. But nobody seems to care. Why? Because that floppy-eared crack-smoking homosexual Sunni Islamic Muslim Arab never qualified either. That's why they're all trying to do the same. Totally insane. I want to thank my viewer for explaining what he did about his own personal situation. Totally insane. But hey, it is what it is. And I don't see any one of these candidates ever taking the Oval Office. Why? Because I don't see the present occupier ever leaving. That's why.